As San Francisco travels to LA to face off against the Rams, Talanoa Hufanga is expected to make his season debut, but he will be on a snap count. This means more than likely, Nick Sorensen will have to call on the rookie Malik Mustafa throughout this game. This is more so the case considering how San Francisco started rotating in Mustafa last week after George Odom gave up a 97-yard touchdown pass to Justin Jefferson. So in this video, I want to break down some of Mustafa's film on the defensive side of the ball to really highlight the type of player he is and what San Francisco can expect out of him going forward. Starting out with Mustafa in the run game, where he immediately stands out is his ability to diagnose runs and then blow up the running back. On this 4th and 1 from the preseason, for instance, Mustafa quickly identifies a hole, so he fills it, meets the running back there, and shows off his great playing strength with this absolutely brutal hit. And in a similar way in this most recent Vikings game, Mustafa was quick to identify plays and showed off no fear in meeting the running back inside the hole. Here, despite being the player farthest off the ball for instance, Mustafa is able to get in on this tackle because of how fast he responds and triggers on this. But even more important for his safety is his ability to make open field tackles. Often safeties are the last line of defense, and Mustafa is excellent. On this play for instance, if Mustafa isn't able to make this tackle, this ball carrier is going to the house, but he does an excellent job of breaking down and then bringing them to the ground. To further highlight my point, in this Saints game, the ball carrier is able to bounce outside, but Mustafa takes a great angle and brings him down again in open space. Equally important for his safety is their ability in coverage, and Mustafa shows great promise. In a similar way to his run fits for instance, Mustafa's play recognition is off the charts. On this short pass from the Saints for instance, Mustafa is breaking on this receiver before the quarterback even throws this ball so he can get there in perfect time. But because of how quickly Mustafa triggers, you would think he would be susceptible to play fakes, but when the Vikings tried to pull down on him, he blew up this entire play. Mustafa also helped bait Sam Darnold into throwing an interception. Here for instance, you can clearly see Mustafa reading this wide receiver coming on the post route and then Sam Darnold triggering on it. And if it wasn't for Fred Warner picking it off, Mustafa might have done the same or absolutely destroyed this wide receiver. So ultimately, based off his film, I do think that Malik Mustafa is a better safety fit for San Francisco than Odom. His playstyle is just so similar to Jair Brown and Talanoa Hufanga for instance, and he also offers more upside in the long run. He's a rookie and is just going to continue to improve. And his fit even makes more sense when you examine his career up to this point. We were first introduced to Malik Mustafa at Weddington High School in Weddington, North Carolina, and as a senior, he had 68 tackles and 5 interceptions. Despite this strong senior season though, he wasn't heavily recruited and was ranked as a 0-star recruit according to 24/7 Sports. But Mustafa still had offers including from Army, Lafayette, and Richmond. Ultimately, he did decide to commit to Richmond. During his freshman year, he started in all 4 games of the team's spring season and had 17 tackles. This allowed Mustafa to enter the NCAA transfer portal, and he ultimately did and decided to commit to Wake Forest. And during his first year as a Demon Deacon in 2021, he played in 13 games, had 37 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 2 passes broken up, and a forced fumble. The following year in 2022, he was able to grab onto the starting safety job, and he started in 10 games, had 58 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, 3 passes broken up, and 2 forced fumbles. His best year by far though came his final year in 2023, where he was second team All-ACC, and he started in 12 games this season, had 80 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, an interception, and 2 passes broken up. So after this prolific year, Mustafa did decide to enter the 2024 NFL Draft, and at the Combine, he came in at 5'10", weighing 209 pounds, and he put up the bench press an impressive 22 times, which led all defensive backs. And during his pro day, he ran his 40-yard dash in 4.54 seconds. And while Mustafa was impressive in college for similar reasons I previously mentioned in this video, many scouts questioned Mustafa's ability to transfer to the NFL given his less than ideal height and speed. In part due to these reasons, Mustafa was able to be picked up by San Francisco in round 4 with pick 24. And so far for San Francisco, he looks like an absolute steal, in the same way Jair Brown did last year and Talanoa Hufanga did in the past as well. And now headed into week 3, he may receive his opportunities to secure San Francisco's 3rd safety job behind Hufanga and Brown. But ultimately, these are just some of my thoughts about how the 49ers may attempt to deal with Hufanga being on a limited snap count, and I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. It would also mean a lot to me if you could like and subscribe, and as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.